from Sharing Yoga and realliveyoga.com, but by this point you know that. I think we're probably coming up on our 50th online yoga class that I've live streamed. This might be number 50 plus or minus. I don't have an exact count, but welcome, and I'm glad you could join me today for some yoga. And it's technically springtime in New Hampshire, and I got a special request, and I do take special requests, so if you have a special request for a particular type of practice or a particular length of practice or a particular area of the body that's tight or sore or weak or you need balance or something like that, I do take requests. So last week's request was for a shorter class that you could do, maybe 20 minutes or so, that you could do right as you were winding down and getting ready to go to bed. So we did that last week. The request this week was for gardening. What kind of stuff can we do to help with gardening? And I think that request comes from people who are doing some gardening and their back is achy, right? So if you're bent over and you're digging and raking and weeding and stuff like that, or if you're on your knees and you're doing stuff like that, or you're crouched down like this, doing something with some flowers or vegetables or something like that, then your lower back's probably going to end up bothering you. So what we'll do today is we'll come up with a little series of things that we can do in order to alleviate that. So the first thing we want to think about is, if our lower back aches, then we should probably move toward strengthening it first, right? And then maybe stretching it a little bit. So we'll work with that. The other thing is, if we're on our knees or we're squatting, we want to do some of that kneeling and squatting in order to maybe be better prepared. It's like that first time, like when it snows, right? I know you don't want to talk about snow right now, but the first time it snows out in the wintertime and you get the shovel out and you start shoveling, and then you come inside, and then that night or the next day your back aches because you haven't been using those lower back muscles. But if you have a consistent practice where you're strengthening and stretching the lower back muscles, then when you go out to shovel the snow, when you go out to garden, then you'll be in much better shape to do that. So anyway, I can talk all day, as you know. We're going to begin on our backs, so go ahead and come down onto your back. When you get here, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor, about a foot apart. And then we'll bring the right knee and thigh up in toward the chest and hug it in. Begin some deeper breathing. And then you're going to release and switch legs, so the left knee and thigh come up and in. Grab a hold of it with both hands and gently begin to draw it toward the upper body. And then focus your attention on your deep breathing. Inhaling. Exhaling. Then we're going to release here. Now go ahead and take that right knee and thigh up and in again here. Hug it in. Then you're going to allow the left leg to straighten. Press out through the left heel. And then you're going to switch. Left knee and thigh comes up and in. Right leg straightens out. Press out through the right heel. Draw the left knee and thigh a little bit closer. Now what I'd like you to do is pick your head up off the ground a little bit. You're going to press your lower back into the floor and engage your abs. And then you're going to lift the right heel up off the ground. And then you're going to switch legs. And switch legs. And switch. Good. So you continue to move through this. The front part of the core is strong, so the abdominal muscles are engaged, and the lower back is pressing down into the floor to keep you stable. Good. Then bring both knees and thighs up in toward the chest. Head and shoulders comes back down to the floor. Hug them in. and then release the feet back down. So again, the knees are bent, the feet are a foot apart. Arms come alongside the body. And then bend your elbows to about 90 degrees here, and you're going to press the elbows into the floor. And as you inhale, lift your hips and lower back up, and then exhale, come down. Inhale up, exhale down. As you move through this, think about keeping your feet flat on the floor. So if your toes are lifting up or the balls of your feet are lifting up as you're coming up, press them back down into the floor. Feet stay nice and flat. Inhale, come up. Exhale, come down. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll meet back down onto the floor. Now, arms alongside the body. Walk your feet just a couple inches more away from your hips, and then allow the knees to move side to side like this. And then back to center. Now bring the knees and thighs up in toward the chest again. Bring your head up off the ground and squeeze everything together for a breath or two. Now from here, separate your knees really wide apart. And then allow the thighs to come away from the upper body like this. I'd like you to freeze your legs right where they are and slide your hands over and grab your knees from the inside of your legs versus the outside of the legs. And then rest your head and shoulders back down onto the floor. So right now I'm allowing the weight of my legs just to relax and be supported by my straight arms. Take a long, slow inhale. Exhale, let everything relax. And again, long, slow inhale. Exhale, let everything relax. Now keep your knees and thighs wide apart, but try to bend your elbows back down toward the floor. Good, just pause there. Wherever you end up is fine. If you can only bend your elbows a little bit, that's fine. If you can bend them a lot, that's great. Focus on your breath again here. See if you can feel that on your inner thighs, and then adjust your knees so that you're feeling the same sensation on both inner thighs. And then bring the knees back toward each other and allow the feet to come back down toward the floor. Arms relax alongside the body. Take your right ankle now just above your left knee and thigh, and you're going to allow the legs to relax over toward the right. So you might get about halfway over or so and say, no, that's it, my legs ain't coming to the floor. That's fine, right? The nice thing about yoga is, and you've heard me say this dozens of times, is yoga meets you where you're at. So if you're only halfway over like this, that's fine. Tighten up your abdominals a little bit and focus on your deep breathing. If you've got further to go, allow the legs to come all the way over, or almost all the way over. And then there's a question about, well, I can't keep my left shoulder blade on the floor. That doesn't matter to me. We're in a twist. We're trying to allow muscles to release a little bit so we can go a little bit deeper into our practice, and the abdominals are engaged a little bit here. And then come back to center, and then we'll switch. Right foot to the floor, left ankle comes above the right knee, and then we'll begin to allow the legs to relax over toward the left. Maybe you come a little bit, and then you're like, that's it, I'm going to hold on right here. Or maybe you come a lot, your choice. Again, engage the abdominals. So tighten up your belly, that's another way I could describe it. And then keep your belly tight and begin to deep, deep breathing. And then come back to center. And then release. So from here, you're going to walk your feet together so they touch, and then allow the knees to open up to opposite sides here. So the thighs are relaxing away from each other, soles of the feet are together. And then pick your head and shoulders up, and then pick your feet up off the ground. You're going to try to reach your hands to grab your ankles. If you can do that, just pause right there. If you can go a little bit further and interlace the fingers on the outside edge of the feet, go ahead and do that. And then, if you can relax your head and shoulders back down toward the floor, go ahead and do that. Everything's relaxed here. Or I'm attempting to relax everything, let's say. Then I'm going to release the feet. I'm going to come into happy baby pose. So the soles of the feet are going to face the ceiling. If you can't reach your feet like this, you just want to grab behind your knees like this. Another thing is you could grab your big toes. Head and shoulders relax back down to the floor if that feels okay. And again, we're just releasing and relaxing here, so we're not pulling the knees down toward the floor. We might just wobble side to side a little bit. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then you're going to release the feet. Now go ahead and make your way up to seated, and when you get to seated, take the soles of the feet together, interlace your fingers on the outside edge of the feet, pull the heels in as close as you can comfortably, and then sit up nice and tall. And then a little bit of movement up and down with the knees. Deep inhale, deep exhale. And then go ahead and begin to round your back and come forward a little bit. And then if you can get your left elbow and forearm to the inside of that left leg, go ahead and do that. Take your right hand or your right forearm to the right knee and thigh. And then this is going to hold this stationary here, and you're gently going to just press into the right leg with the right arm. And then you're going to attempt to lean forward a little bit. Now hold it there and come back to your breath. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Again, deep inhale and deep exhale. And then we're going to release and switch. So I've wrapped my right fingers around both feet. Bend your right elbow so it comes in contact with the right leg, and then the left arm comes over here. Lean forward a little bit, and then you're going to press down here and lean to the right. And then we're going to release. Now, keep the feet together. Slide the feet out in front so your legs form a diamond shape like this. And then you'll take the hands just to the top of the ankles or underneath the ankles. Let your head relax. Let your arms relax. Let your legs relax. And breathe deep. Long, slow inhale here. Exhale. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, come up. So I'm going to grab a prop next. A prop is something that you use in order to, for a lot of the time, for the most part, is to take up space. So I'm going to roll up a blanket here that I might need. If you have an extra yoga mat, you can use that. And then we're going to work into a squat. So the reason I wanted to use the prop here is because a lot of folks, when you come into a squat, you're heels don't make it all the way down to the floor. And then when your heels don't make it all the way down to the floor and you're in a yoga class and you look over at other people and they got their heels on the floor, and then you're like, oh my God, I suck because I can't get my heels to the floor. But just get that out of your head. It's not what it's about. We'll use a prop. You're going to separate your feet about mat width apart, and then bring your heels right up on that mat or that blanket. Toes are pointed out a little bit. And then remember, we're focusing on gardening here, so we're going to get all the muscles tuned up for gardening. And then little by little, you're going to come down into this squat here. So if this is really easy for you, just go ahead and ditch the prop and come to flat feet. And then we'll take this a little bit further, right? So that's with the prop. This is without the prop. Feet are flat on the floor. Now, you can do a couple things here. Hands come together, and then the triceps are to the inside of the knees, and you'll bring the palms toward heart center. So now we're separating the knees and thighs and working on a little bit of an inner thigh stretch. And then you can counter that, or you can take that a little bit deeper by making use of oppositional forces. So as the arms are pressing out into the legs, gently, 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 with about 10% of your effort, try to squeeze the knees toward each other. So arms are pressing out into the knees, and the knees are pressing back into the arms with the same amount of effort. And then you're going to release your hands, and you're going to begin to straighten your legs, and we'll come into a forward bend here. So allow the arms to relax if that feels okay, and allow the head and neck to relax. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Now look forward, bring your fingertips to the floor, lift the heels up, and begin to come back down into a squat again. So once again, you can have your heels on the floor like this, or you can use the prop here. And then what we'll work on here is taking this a little bit deeper. So hands come again together, hands move toward the heart center, knees and thighs are separating apart. So in order to take this a little bit further, I can think about leaning forward, right? So I might lean forward there, I might drop the fingertips to the floor and see how that feels. And if you're getting a really good stretch on that muscle that runs up and down the outside of the shin, the tibialis anterior, that would be good, right? And then if you want to take it a little bit further and your heels do make it to the floor, then you can shift the weight forward, keep the knees apart. Shift the weight back into the heels, and then we'll come to seated again. So I'm going to work the tibialis anterior a little bit more here, grabbing my trusty strap. Have your right leg straight and your left foot come in like this, and then strap your right foot like this. And I know this sounds counterintuitive and weird and you've never seen it before or whatever. Lift your right knee up off the ground quite a bit, 8 or 9 inches. And just focus on pulling the top of that right foot toward you, right, with the strap. Now, if you can grab the foot like this and it's easy for you to do, you just go ahead and do that, right? But if your arms are too short or your legs are too long or you're not flexible enough or whatever, just use the strap. So all I'm focusing on is drawing the top of that right foot back. Same action as we were getting with the tibialis anterior muscle when we were in that squat and leaning forward. Now, straighten out the leg 100%, point the toes straight up toward the ceiling, and now instead of just pulling the right foot back with the strap, push the right foot forward at the same time. So you're trying to push that right foot forward like a gas pedal in a car, but you're gently pulling back with the strap. Take a deep inhale, deep exhale. Good. Now, stop pushing the foot forward and just pull it back with the strap. Pull it back, pull it back, pull it back, pull it back. You feel that stretch on your calf muscles. Pull it back. Nice and easy, nice and easy, easy. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then release, and then we'll switch sides. So remember, part A, that left knee, in this case we've switched sides now, is way up off the ground. It won't work, it won't be effective unless you follow these precise instructions. Good? So you're just pulling, gently pulling the top of that left foot toward you. Slowly straighten the leg. Toes point straight up toward the ceiling, the left toes. Now gently push the left foot forward and gently pull back with the straps. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. And then stop pushing the foot forward and just pull back, 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 back with the strap or with your hands. And then we're going to release. Shake the legs out in front. Now I'm going to take my trusty prop again, either my extra yoga mat or my blanket I have rolled up underneath my knees. I'm going to strap both feet. And then I'm going to sit up really tall. So I'm maintaining a little bend in the knees, which is going to take the stretch out of the hamstrings. So the hamstrings won't be stretching as much as they would with the legs straight and the thighs engaged. And then I'm going to try to take the roundness out of my back, and I'm going to try to sit up nice and tall. Good. And then I'm going to keep that length through the upper body. And then I'm going to hinge forward at the hips. So it's almost like my sternum is moving toward my toes. Right? If the back starts to go like this, I just want to continue to try to take that roundness out of it. Take a long, slow inhale. Long, slow exhale. Let everything relax. Go ahead and get rid of that prop. Bring your hands back like this. Point your toes forward. Engage your thighs. Press out through your heels. Engage your thighs. Point your toes forward. Engage your thighs. Press out through your heels. Engage your thighs. And now allow everything to relax. Next, feet come together. Toes point forward like that. Take your hands on the floor, 1 foot behind your hips. Now, squeeze your shoulder blades toward each other out back. And then put a little bend in your elbows. Maintain the little bend in your elbows. Keep it there. And then you're going to try to lift the hips up off the ground. Once you get here, the elbows are bent a little bit still. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. And then push your heels down into the floor as much as you can. Your hips will come a little bit higher. Squeeze the ankles together, squeeze the thighs together, and breathe. Then lower down, cross your ankles, and then go like this with your arms. Nice and easy. Shake out your hands. And then we're going to transition over onto the hands and knees next. When you get here, we're going to move back into child's pose and relax. Head comes down toward the floor. Hips move back toward the heels. And lift your head up, look forward toward the hands, and come up onto the hands and knees. So everybody's going to be different here, but we're going to try to move
toward upward facing dog and then back into child's pose. So I'm going to bring my knees back a little bit, keep the elbows bent, and then go ahead and bring your hips and your pelvis forward little by little. So if you get to here and it's like, oh, that's enough for me today, you just pause right there with the elbows bent. And if you have further to go, keep the shoulder blades moving toward each other. Keep the shoulders moving away from the ear so you're pressing down into the floor. Maybe look forward a little bit, and then you'll just allow the hips and the pelvis to relax forward. And then keep your hands right where they are and your knees right where they are, and move back toward child's pose. And if you don't get all the way back into child's pose, that's fine. Try to relax your head, but keep the hands where they are and the knees where they are, so that way we know when we try this again and again, we're set up with the correct alignment. And then you're going to come up, look forward, maintain that little bend in the elbows, hips come forward. This time maybe the chin moves up away from the chest. And you don't want to be hunched up like this with the shoulders up near the ears. If you take a look there, turn your head, you draw those shoulders away from the ears. And then back toward child's pose. And then raise the gaze again, come up onto hands and knees, begin to shift the hips and pelvis forward here. Now, if you're comfortable here and you want to take it a little bit further, you can think about supporting the weight of your entire body on your hands with the bent elbows and the tops of the feet. So to do that, I'm going to lift the legs up off the ground, the feet stay on the ground. Oop, there's a little bit of a cramp. And then I'm going to engage the glutes and engage my thighs. And again, the hips and pelvis are moving forward, and I'm breathing. Drop the knees. And this time as you move back into child's pose, slide the hands back and maybe even bring your arms alongside your body and allow the shoulders to relax. Back up onto hands and knees. And then we'll make our way into downward facing dog. So point your toes down into the floor, come up and back into down dog. Relax the heels toward the floor. Doesn't matter if they touch the floor or not. And then press the palms of the hands firmly into your mat. Long, slow inhale. Long, slow exhale. Now bend your knees and look forward. Inhale, walk the feet forward. Feet are going to be about hip width apart. And then you're going to try to grab onto opposite arms. Relax the head. Let the arms relax in this position. So what I'd like you to work on is bringing some awareness or some engagement into your abdominal muscles. Can you engage or tighten up your abdominal muscles right now? And then release your hands, shake out your arms. Now place your hands right above your knees so the fingers are pointed toward each other. Elbows are bent. Bend your knees a little bit more, and then bring your chest towards your thighs. Keep everything right where it is, so the hands stay right on the knees. Knees stay bent. You're going to inhale, straighten the arms, look forward. Exhale, come down. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, come down. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, come down. Inhale, straighten the arms. And pause. Bend your knees some more. Release the hands. Sweep the arms up overhead. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, the palms right down to the heart center. Close your eyes.
Press your palms together firmly and concentrate on your breath. And then open your eyes and drop your arms alongside the body. Shake out your hands and wrists. Now, feet come wide apart. Toes are going to point straight ahead, and then arms come up. So we're in 5-pointed star, let's call this. Begin to firm up your thigh muscles so your legs are nice and strong, and then you're going to reach out through the fingertips in opposite directions. So you're stretching yourself out nice and long. And drop the right hand onto the right thigh. Slide the right hand down and then the left arm up and over. Right, so we're trying to lean over toward the right into a side stretch while keeping the legs straight and the thighs engaged. So don't bend your knee to try to get a little bit further over there. Just focus on having that firm foundation. Legs are straight, thighs are nice and strong, and then you're leaning toward the right. Breathing deep into the left side of your rib cage here. Inhale coming up, and exhale, we'll switch sides. Left hand drops down, right arm comes up and over. Right? All of a sudden you notice, oh, this side's way tighter than the other side. Well, that's good then. If you notice that, do that side. If this is the side that's tighter, do this side twice as long. It needs a little more attention. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now, point the toes out toward the corners of your mat. Begin to bend your knees. Upper body's nice and tall here. Arms come out to the side. Bend the elbows. So keep your feet grounded, but maybe try to lift the tips of your toes up off the ground so that the balls of the feet, the outside edges of the feet, and the heels are still grounded. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, hands to the hips. Now, make the feet parallel again. And then you're going to begin to bend the knees. And as you do this, lean the upper body forward and rest the forearms just above the thighs, just above the knees. Forearms just above the knees on the lower part of the thigh. Relax your head. Sink your seat down as far as you can without allowing your toes to turn out. So your toes are turned straight ahead. I know, it's starting to burn a little bit. If you have further to go, drop your hands to the floor, or not. Relax your head. Bend your knees even more. Allow your hips to relax. Allow the muscles in your pelvis to relax. And then do me a favor and double check your toes. They're pointed straight ahead, not out. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. Now slowly, straighten the legs. Once the legs are straight 100%, tighten up your thigh muscles again. Grab onto opposite arms like this and relax the head. Now here, experiment with this. Shift a little bit of the weight of the hips forward. Not so the heels come up, but just so there's a little bit more weight in the balls of the feet. Squeeze those thighs nice and strong. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then shift the weight back into the heels. Thighs are still engaged. A little bit of the weight is back into the heels, not so you're going to tip over. And then hands come to the hips. Inhale, come up to standing. And exhale here. Bring the feet back toward each other. Bend the knees a couple of times. So at the beginning of practice tonight, when we started on our back, we drew our right knee and thigh up and in toward our chest. So we're going to try that again. But this time we're not going to be in our back, we're going to be balancing, so it'll take a little bit more concentration. So look out in front of your mat there, or out in front of your feet about 5 or 6 feet. Shift your weight onto the left foot, the left leg. Bring the right knee and thigh up and grab a hold of it, and then hug it up and in like this. You're going to bring it as high as you can. Long, slow inhale. Long, slow exhale. And then you're going to release and switch sides. Shift the weight onto your right leg now. Bring the left knee up, 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 up for the balance. And then draw it up, 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 up. And then release. With the feet about hip width apart, go ahead again and close the eyes. Concentrate on your breath. And then go ahead and open the eyes up. Good. So we are going to take a chair pose one more time. So what I'd like you to do is bring your feet together here, close together. Bend your knees. And then inhale the arms up overhead. Gently begin to squeeze the knees together. Tighten up your belly again. Shift some of the weight back into the heels. See how that feels. Bend your knees a little bit more and push your seat back a little bit more. And then try to arch the back a little bit. Right? So instead of collapsing this way, like this. Keep the belly tight. Keep the abdominals strong. Inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step back into a high push-up. And lower down. Inhale, press up to upward facing dog. And again, if it feels like you could hold this for a few extra breaths and want to take it a little bit further, if your back's feeling a-okay, feel free to support the pose, suspending the legs up so that the weight is in the hands, elbows are bent, and on the tops of the feet. Squeeze the thighs, squeeze the glutes, and breathe deep. And then drop the knees, push the hips back, come back into child's pose. And relax. Take a couple of relaxing breaths here in child's pose. And then come out of child's pose and come up onto the hands and knees. So from here, you're going to take your left foot and cross it over your right leg out back. Then you're going to lean the hips back a little bit. Now take your right hand and reach back for your left foot. Good. And then look forward toward the front of your mat. And then bring that left leg up off the ground. So from here, if I'm wobbly, I just want to bring my right knee to the right a little bit more. And then I bring the weight forward. So try to get the left shoulder over the left wrist. Notice that left elbow is still bent. Now from here, I'm going to look forward. I'm going to tighten up my abdominals. And then what I'd like you to do is press that left leg up and press it back. But at the same time, keep your right elbow bent and pull back on that left foot. So I've created a circuit, an energetic circuit of tension here. This foot, left foot, is trying to push back like that and lift up to the ceiling, but my right arm is pulling back with the same amount of effort. And release.
and then we'll switch sides. Lean the hips back, cross the right foot over the left leg, reach the left hand for the right foot, and then come up. So it's a balance pose because we're on one knee and one hand. It's also a back bend. So I'm going to draw the left shoulder blade toward the midline. Try to get the right shoulder over the right wrist. Look forward a little bit. Tighten up your abdominals, that's important here. And then as you push the right knee higher and the right foot back, pull back with the bent left arm. Find your breath. And then release. Now bring your knees together and your feet together and sit back towards your heels. Good? It's another good place you can use that rolled up mat or that rolled up blanket as a prop. You can place that the front part of the ankles there, and then that may relieve a little bit of tension there if the front part of the ankles are tight. You could try that. Now we'll take that same pose that we just did and do a different variation on it. So if the last variation of that pose was really challenging for you, just try that again. If you have that last pose down pretty well, then we'll try this one. So very similar pose. The difference is going to be the left forearm is going to be on the floor now, parallel to the front of your mat. Your right hand reaches back for your left foot, and then your left leg comes up. So you have the left shoulder over the left elbow this time. You're looking forward. Tighten up your abdominals. And then you're pushing that left knee and thigh up, pushing the left foot back, and pulling back with the bent right arm. You can see that right there. Now to take this further, keep your abdominals engaged and try to pull your left foot up toward the ceiling. And release. And then we'll switch sides. Right forearm to the floor. Left hand grabs the right foot and come up into the pose. Check your alignment. Right shoulder over the right elbow. Look forward. Left elbow's bent a little bit. Tighten up your abdominals. Press the right knee and right thigh higher. Push the right foot back. Pull back with the bent left arm. To take it a little further, you're going to try to gently pull that right foot higher. And then you're going to release. Bring the knees together, feet together. Sit back toward the heels. Concentrate on your breathing. Good. Now, we need to do a little tiny bit more work for the core. So I'd like you to come down onto your forearms so that the elbows are right underneath the shoulders, and then step your feet back and come into a forearm plank here. And when you get here, you're pressing the wrists down into the floor and then engaging or tightening up your thigh muscles. And then press your elbows into the floor. Engage the abdominals. And now without moving your elbows, gently try to drag your elbows in the direction of your feet. And then drop the hips down to the floor. Point the toes back toward the wall behind you. Press into the elbows and come up into Sphinx pose. So hips are on the floor, thighs are on the floor. Now point the toes back down into the floor, come back up into forearm plank. and then drop your head and look back at your feet. Begin to walk the toes forward, and we'll come into a downward facing dog with the elbows and forearms on the floor. So look back towards your feet. Straighten your legs and tighten your thighs. And then press the forearms into the floor, and without moving your elbows and without moving your feet, try to get your nose closer to your toes. And then drop to the knees. Come back into child's pose. Bring the arms alongside your body again. And allow your shoulders to just relax down toward the floor. And then we're going to come up onto the hands and knees. We're going to transition once again onto our back. When you get down to the back this time, bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. Bring your feet together, and then allow the knees to relax toward the right hand side. And what I'd like you to do is keep the knees together and the thighs together, and you'll begin to roll over like this onto your right side. Let the right arm relax out to the right. Keep the legs so they're together, and then the left arm, whatever's going on with the left arm, you're trying to let it relax out to the left. If it doesn't want to relax out to the left, just bring your left hand to your left hip like this. This part of the body is relaxing to the left. The knees are relaxing to the right. Think about where you feel the resistance in your body while you're in this position, and then see if you can allow that area to relax a little bit. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. Come back to center. And then we'll try the other side. So you're going to allow the knees to drop over toward the left. And then the right arm stays out here, or you can bring your right hand to your right hip. Long, slow inhales, followed by long, slow exhales. And then back to center. Keep the feet together, allow the knees to open up to opposite sides again, so allow the soles of the feet to touch and the knees and thighs to open up away from each other. And then pick the head and shoulders up off the ground. And then pick the legs up off the ground. Grab the knees from the inside of the leg like we did at the beginning of practice. Allow the knees and thighs to relax far apart from one another. Bring the head and shoulders back down to the floor. So for the first set of breaths, the weight of the legs is supported by the straight arms, right? I'm just trying to relax here. And then if I've got further to go, knees and thighs stay wide apart, but I begin to draw them toward the upper body again. It's just a little bit, for me, it's just a little bit of bending the elbows to find that stretch on the inside of the thighs. And then head and shoulders come back up again. feet come together. You slide the hands to the ankles, grab a hold of your ankles, or if you can, interlace the fingers on the outside edge of the feet. If you've got a little bit further to go here, try to relax the head and shoulders back down to the floor. Arms are relaxed, legs are relaxed. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then from here, we'll move back into happy baby. So soles of the feet toward the ceiling. You can hold your feet, your toes, or you can hold just behind your knees and thighs. That's more comfortable. You could move side to side if that feels okay. And then we're going to release the feet down to the floor. Now take your right ankle just above your left knee again. And this time we'll take this stretch a little bit deeper. So we'll work into figure four pose or reclining pigeon, however you want to classify it. You're going to pick up your left foot and try to interlace the fingers behind the left thigh like this. Let this left foot relax, and then try to let the head and shoulders relax onto the floor. Everything's relaxed again, right? Everything's relaxed. And then just settle into it and think about where you feel the resistance in your body and see if you can relax that area. And then from here you might just lean the left thigh over to the left an extra inch or two. That may intensify the stretch or the feeling that you're having in the right hip area. And then slowly you begin to draw. This is you can barely see it, right? You're just going to pull gently the left thigh toward the upper body, nice and easy. And then release here, and we'll switch sides. Left ankle goes above the right knee. Grab behind the right knee and thigh. Relax the head and shoulders if you can. And you're just relaxing into it. And then you can lean the right thigh to the right a little bit. You can also begin to draw the right thigh towards your upper body a little bit, intensifying the stretch in the left hip area, or your left hamstrings. If your hamstrings are tight, you'll feel that here also. And then go ahead and release. Bring the feet together and allow the knees to open up side to side one more time. Take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. Go ahead and straighten your legs. Allow the arms to relax out toward the side of your body. And place your arms and legs in a comfortable position so that you're able to allow your body to relax into the floor. Once you get settled on your back and your arms and legs are comfortable, Feel free to close your eyes. Notice that your body's relaxing, and little by little notice that your body is moving toward being still. Shift your awareness just for a moment to your breath. Notice the breath. So there's no controlling the breath or forcing the breath or trying to breathe deep anymore. You're just simply allowing the breath to begin to flow smoothly and comfortably in and out of your body. Bring your attention to your head and neck, and just move your head side to side ever so slightly, acknowledging that your head and neck are relaxing. Next, bring your attention to your shoulders, and if you need to readjust your shoulders in order to have them be comfortable, go ahead and do that. Allow your shoulders to relax down into the floor. Allow your head and neck to relax down into the floor. And then bring your awareness to your arms. Beginning at the shoulder, allow the arms to relax. Allow the elbows to relax. Allow your forearms to relax. Allow your wrists to relax. Allow the hands and fingers to relax. And feel that relaxation move all the way into the tips of the fingers. Next, gather your awareness at your heart center. Allow this area to soften and relax. Next, turn your attention to your navel center and notice the subtle rise and fall of the belly, coinciding with your breathing. As you inhale, perhaps the belly expands and lifts a tiny bit, and as you exhale, it relaxes back to that starting point. Now you become even more aware of the breath as it flows smoothly and comfortably in and out. Bring your attention to your hips. Allow your hips to relax. Allow your thighs to relax. Allow your knees to relax. Allow your shins and calf muscles to relax. Allow the ankles to relax. Feet and toes. And allow the relaxation that's in your body to extend all the way to the tips of the toes. Your body's relaxed. Bring your awareness back to your breath.
and take a very subtle, gentle inhale. Hold that breath inside your body for a few seconds. And exhale, slowly relax. Once again, inhaling gently. Hold the breath inside. Exhale, slowly relax. One more time, gentle inhale. Hold the breath in. Exhale, slowly relax. Go ahead and begin to deepen your breath now. And as you deepen your breath, bring some movement back into your hands and feet. And bring more movement back into the body now by bending your elbows and knees and stretching out the arms and legs. When you're ready, roll over onto one side. And then make your way up to seated. Find a comfortable seated position for a moment. Once you get to seated, take the palms of the hands and rub them together. Place the hands lightly over the eyes and face. Now interlace the fingers and the palms come face down on top of the head. Hands come to the back of the neck. Hands come to the heart center. Hands come to the navel center. And then hands come to the knees and thighs. Sit up tall and take a deep inhale. And a deep exhale. Bring your hands together at your heart center. And then go ahead and open your eyes. And we'll say namaste, namaste, namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today, practicing yoga here on realliveyoga.com. I'm David Breen. Have a great rest of your day or night.